So, yesterday, as I was discussing about this rule, and I told you that you can just fetch the dynamic agents based on this rule as well, or you can take the help of activity. But in companies, if there is a requirement that you want to return some value from the rule, or if you are developing the logic, like yesterday, whatever we have built for this activity, and we did it in activity, we have fetched the dynamic agents, and we have just returned the final variable when it turns out to be the final, like the level. If it is final level, then the final variable will be checked. So this can be done in activity. You have both importing and exporting parameter, but in rule you don't have the exporting parameter, so you won't be able to export anything. Only you can export is the actor tab. The actor tab contains the user IDs of the of the company. So in rule, if you fetch the agents, no doubt you will be fetching the dynamic agents. You can fetch it from the table, but yes, only agents will be exported. No other variables can be exported through rule. Only you can have the importing variables, importing parameters, but once you have fetched the dynamic agents inside that rule, you cannot export other than the agents. Only agents can be exported. So this is the difference between this activity and the rule, like if you fetch through activity and through rule. And somebody was asking me about the difference of this role and rule. So role is basically like suppose managerial role. The role is assigned to the users, and through rule it is a way to fetch the dynamic agents. So these two are totally different. Role is basically assigned to the user. It is some kind of authority object which you assign to the users, and rule is used as a way to fetch the dynamic agents. So this is the difference. So today what I'm going to discuss is the rule. You can determine it in many ways. So I will be discussing, first one is the static, and the another one is the dynamic. So the static one will be rule by responsibility. So what you will have to do is we will assign statically the user IDs in that rule tab, and that static value will be fetched, and that work item will be sent to those users. And in case of dynamic way, that is rule through function module, we will be fetching data from the database based on suppose company code, and then those IDs will be receiving the work items. So these are the two ways which I am going to discuss, and then I will be discussing ad hoc assignments, and if time permits, then I will be discussing multi-line container elements. So these both will be discussed by today so that we can complete rule, and tomorrow we will be discussing org structure so that we can complete agents by tomorrow. So here, first let me take you to the transaction PFAC. First, I will discuss the static way of getting the agents through rule by responsibility. First, we will go through transaction PFAC. There, we will be having one we will be having one agent assignments where the agent will be assigned in a static way. I think the session has got out. Yeah. Just give me a second. So here, in maintain rule in this transaction PFAC, we will be creating one rule. Suppose I just click on that create button and give the name static. This is the static way which I'm discussing. Give the abbreviation and name, and in category just select the agent determination responsibilities. This is rule by responsibility, and just check this terminate if rule resolution without result. It means that if this rule doesn't returns you the result, that is the agents, then this rule will be terminated automatically. Now in container, go to the container. This is the rule container. Here I am creating one variable called level. Based on this level, I will be assigning some of the agents. So once you go to the properties section of this level, you can see here import is checked and export is disabled. So I cannot export this variable. So you can see that in rule we cannot export the parameters, only we can import. What we can export is only agents. So this is what the difference we have. So you can see we have one container element with importing parameter. So going to the responsibility section, just go to the responsibility tab. First we need to save this. First I will show you the number generated out of it. In above you can see the rule number, that is 979000143. So this 979 was configured by the system. So we are having this prefix number in workflow also, in task also, and in rule also, and this 5-digit number was generated by the system. So we have got the rule number. Now in responsibility section, what we need to do is just click on this create button. Now here we have to assign the level value. Suppose I'm assigning 1 to 1. Now save it. Now go back. Now you can see here we have got one line item, that is G static, with level as 1. So what we will be doing, just select that and click on the button called insert agent assignment. Choose the user. Now here write Alcadia. It has copied this. It has searched this Alcadia. Now just click on this drop down and you can see it means that for level 1 I have the user Alcadia. So yesterday as I shown you that from backend also you can do that. This is the one way of statically assigning the agents. In many companies we use this, like we will be assigning users. If some users leave the company, then we will be removing that user from here. If some user comes in the company, or if the company hires new employees, then we will be assigning statically, manually, going into the prod system, and we will be assigning the users here. So this is the static way of assigning the users. For level 1 I have assigned Lakshmi Kedia. Now I will create one for level 2. Suppose this is for level 2. That first one I have not changed the abbreviation. So this is from 2 to 2. Just save it. Now go back. This is for level 2. Let me see if I am able to change it. Okay. Let me change the name so that you can understand it better. So you can see for level 1 it's Lakshmi Kedia. Now for level 2 I will do the agent assignment. Suppose Kumar K. Now for level 2 we are having Kumar K. Now I will create one more for level 2. So for level 1 I am having Lakshmi Kedia, and for level 2 I am having Kiran and KE. Now this is what I have done the rule by responsibility. Means I have just statically assigned the users based on the level. You can have anything in container element, like I was having level, you can have company code, function, or company, or payment terms, or doc type, any variable based on which you want to fetch the users you can have there. And if you have the static value against those variables or the container elements, like I was having for level, I was having 1, and for level 2 I was having 2. So these are the static values. So if for the static values, you can just assign the agent statically through rules by responsibility. Now I'm done with this. Now what I will do, I will simulate this. Simulation means you will test it. Just similarly, we test our function modules and methods, we will simulate this rule. So you can see in left corner we are having one button, simulate. Just click on that, and in level give 1, because I want to check for level 1 what users are coming. So on giving this level 1, click on this enter. You can see here US LKDR. It means that my rule is working fine. Now what I will give the level 2. Now I'll see for level 2 what will come. I have assigned 2 users against level 2, that was Priyanka and Kumar K. So these 2 user ID should come out of it. Now let us see. So you can see here Kumar K and Priyanka has appeared. So it means that my rule is working fine. So what I will have to do is I will pass the value of level from the workflow, and the users will get populated in that out of that rule, and that work item will be sent to those users. This is how rule behaves statically. So any doubt on this rule simulation and this rule assignment? First let me know, then only I will move forward with the workflow and how to integrate it with workflow. Yes, Rajesh. Rajesh,
Okay, can you show it again once again?
which one? Which one?
This rule one.
Again, you want to show? You want me to show?
Yeah, Amal sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me create new one. Okay. I'm creating new one. Here, suppose I'm giving the abbreviation rule by responsibility. Just you need to give the abbreviation, give the name. Here in category, you have to select agent determination responsibilities. Just check this, and then going to the container, we will have to create one element or the variable on depending upon which I will be fetching the agents, because I can only import the variables, I cannot export anything. So based on the importing variable, suppose if you have come like yesterday we were doing on based on the company code, we were fetching the user IDs. So based on suppose level, I'm trying to fetch the user IDs. So I'm creating one container element, and in properties you can see import is checked and export variable is disabled. So I can only import this particular variable, that is level. Now coming to the responsibility section, what I will do, based on this level I will assign the users. So once I click on this create button, just give the abbreviation. You can give any name, but just for the understanding I'm giving this name, level 1 suppose. I'm just giving the from and to. Like suppose I have level 1, suppose from 1 to 3, I want that from 1 to 3 these users should come, and from 4 to 5 these many users should come. Suppose from 1 to 3 I am giving the level. Okay, I'm just saving it and going back. Now select this level and do the agent assignment. Click on this particular button, select user. Here write LKDIA. You can write any user ID. Click on create button. Now you can see for level 1 we have got LKDIA. Similarly, I will create one more, not for level 1. The level 1 is there, but the value is from 1 to 3. It means if you give the value 1, then Lakshmi Kedia 2, then Lakshmi Kedia 3, then Lakshmi Kedia. It means for 1 to 3, you have given the range. So for 1 to 3, Lakshmi Kedia will be the user. Now for level 2, let me write here. Don't confuse with the name, okay? I'm just giving the random name. For level 2, suppose first was 1 to 3. Suppose this is from 4 to 6. So if 4, 5, 6, it means for 4, 5 and 6, the level 2 will come out. Now save it and go back. Now select this level 2 and do the agent assignment. Select user. Now here write suppose Kumar K. Any user ID you can create. So for level 2, suppose Kumar K, again select this. I'm doing one more user. I'm just assigning one more user. I'm sorry. So for level 2, it means the value was from 4 to 6. So for 4 to 6, Kumar K and Priyanka will come out. Now save it. Now we will simulate this. Means we will test this. Now suppose for level 1, let's see what is coming. Okay, Alcadia. For level 2, Alcadia. For level 3, Alcadia. Why? Because from 1 to 3, I have assigned the level and I have assigned Alcadia for that level. Now for 4, what should come? Let me ask you first. Rajesh, what should come for 4?
Kumar and one more Priyanka name is there, no? That should come.
Okay, good. So you can see here Kumar and Priyanka has got appeared. So did you understand that?
That 4 and 1 to 3 or 4 to 6 values, it is a container input value.
Right.
So whatever the values we have given user ID, so that would be assigned to this, no?
Right, correct. And this level value will be given from outside, that is from workflow. Okay. I'm giving here for simulation, but I will be providing it from the workflow.
Like the same thing what we use in data element, the value, fixed value and that value table, whatever the values are there, it will work like this only.
Correct. This is a static way of assigning IDs to that particular variable. We use it in companies. In fact, I have even used it. But this is only like very hectic job. In the support point of view, like you will have to sit there in front of the system, in prod system, and whenever the user or the employee leaves the company, you will have to remove it. If the new employee comes, then you have to assign it. So this is a very boring job to assign this in the static way. Rather, afterwards they have preferred of assigning it dynamically. Then they have just removed the static way of assigning and they have just jumped into this dynamic way of assigning users. So that is the best way, in fact, maintaining the table rather than deleting and assigning the users over here. So this is what, but you should know at least, because in the company you work may opt for this way to assign the users. So that's the reason I'm just letting you know everything. Okay, so let me move on. Here you can see I have got the rule number. Just copy this rule number and note it down so that we can use it. Now going back to the workflow builder. In workflow builder, we will be building one user decision step, and there we will be assigning the expression tab with this rule. So let me create one new workflow. Here create one user decision step. I'm just showing you how you can assign the users who will be receiving this work items. So here, and here in expression you have to give that rule number, and you will have to select this rule. Select the rule from the tab and give the rule number, give the decisions. Now click on enter and save it. Now activate. Now first we will have to create one variable called level, because we will be exporting, means passing the value of this level to the rule. Then only that rule will determine the user IDs based on this level. So we need this level container element in workflow container. Make it as with import export. Now click on enter. Now here I have one variable called level. Now I will do the binding. I will do the binding in the rule. You can see here one binding button is there. Just click on that binding. What you have to do is you will have to pass this level from workflow to the rule. Just pass this. Click on enter. We don't have to do any of the binding related to these agents, because the agents which comes out of that rule will get populate over in expression tab automatically. We don't do the binding for getting that agents. Okay, we do only binding for importing parameters, not the exporting. Remember that, and click on enter. Now activate it. Now I will test it. In level, suppose if I give the value as 4. Now execute it. Now tell me who all will receive the work items. In agents, who all will be there? I have given the level 4. So what the rule will do with that 4? Means for the level 4, what it will return? Yes, Ramana?
Yeah, Kumar K and Priyanka.
Absolutely correct. So this rule will return the agents Kumar K and Priyanka. So we have provided this level value from outside, that is from workflow. So you can do it if you have suppose company code, then you can just give the company code value. Now suppose I give the value as 3. Execute it. Going to the workflow log. Now I will be receiving this work item because I am being assigned as the IDs for level 1 to 3. So for 3 I will be receiving this work item. So this is how the static way of rule assignment works. So any doubt on this? Yes, Ramana?
Actually, in rule, rule definition tab,
Mm-hmm.
after you give abbreviation, you selected one of the pop-up list, right?
Here,
List of
category.
values.
Category, you can see in
Yeah,
the
category.
list. Right,
Category. So, when here there are a lot of types, right? If you expand this list of
right.
values,
We are having lot of, but we don't use it. We don't use any of these in this list. Only majorly we use this function to be executed, which I will be discussing now, and these responsibilities and this organization model are in CRM, if they have defined the full organizational model, then we use it, or else we don't use it. And this Webflow are not used because we use the as I told you, that we use RFC destination to call the workflow that is present in different system. It is similarly like if you use this Webflow, it means that this particular rule will actually access the other system tables, or the some database where it will fetch the data from there and it will populate here. So we don't use these Webflow and this authentications. And what we use in real time scenario, I will discuss everything. So these responsibilities are used, and in this we are having this function to be executed, which is most important. And this is the one way to fetch the users dynamically, and that I will discuss now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So first, this was the rule by responsibilities. We do use it. So this is very simple way to assign the users based on the company code or level or whatever container elements you have. And then you can assign this particular rule to the workflow. We don't do any binding with the exporting parameter. Whatever it fetches from the rule, it just populate that agents to that particular expression tab, and then that user will receive that items in their inbox. So any doubt on this rule by responsibility? Okay, so next I will discuss on this dynamic way of fetching the IDs. So first I will have to create one table. Let me create one table. Suppose here I am having the value as company code, and here I am having the value as user ID. Now let me do the technical settings. I will be fetching data from this particular table in the rule, and I will show you how to do that. So I have created one table where I am having two fields called company code and user IDs. Now I will maintain the table. I'm just preparing this table so that we can fetch the data from this table. Now suppose for 9001, again for 9001. So now let us see the data entries. For 9000 I am having Lkdia, for 9001 Kumar K, and for 9001 Priyanka. So for 9000 only one user ID, and for 9001 two users ID. So let's see what the result gives the rule. So now we will be creating, just copy this table name. I'm just copying this table name. See, rule din, and company code is the field and the user ID. Fine. So now I will be creating one rule. Just create. Give any name over here in abbreviation. Select from here agent determination function to be executed. Okay, before that you will have to first create one function module. You can see here, once I have selected this, it is asking me for one function module to give it. But before this, I will have to create one function module in SE37. So going to SE37, here I will be creating one function module. Now here, as I told you, that we have two table parameters which is mandatory for associating it with rule. So going to the tables tab, we will be having two elements present over here, that is AC container, AC underscore container, and in type it will be like, and associated type it will be SWCONT. And in actor tab it will be like, and here it will be SWH actor. So these two are the mandatory elements, mandatory name, which should be there in tables tab. Now coming to the exceptions, here you can have any exception. Suppose approver not found, you can have any exception. This is not mandatory. But in tables, AC container reactor tab is mandatory. In AC container, we will have all the elements present in the rule container. And in actor tab, this rule will fetch the agents, and we will be populating in actor tab. This actor tab will get by default binded to that expression, and whatever users we have fetched from the rule will receive the work items in the inbox. So now coming to the source code, here we will be writing the code. Let me write first some few codes, then I will explain you. So here what I did is I'm just trying to fetch the data from the database for the user's ID. So first statement actually read this AC container. This is the internal table. In debugger I will show you. In this AC container we are having the values, like suppose company code. I haven't created yet. I will be creating one, this container element called company code in the rule container. So it reads this AC container and I'm just fetching the value of this company code element. So I'm just storing it in lvrcom, and then based on that value I'm just fetching the data from the database. I have created one table called zrule underscore din. In this we are having user IDs based on the company code. So based on this company code we are fetching the users and populating in this internal table, and then I'm looping through this internal table and concatenating this with US and populating in the exporting parameter, that is actor tab. So this was the exporting parameter, this I have used as an importing, and this I have used as the exporting. So now I will declare all the variables which I have used. I think I've used declared all the variables. Let me check it. Okay, I'm sorry, it went into table. Fine. Now activate it. Now here, I will raise the exception if actor tab is initial. Whatever exception you have just created, I have created this exception, approver not found. You can create anything. So I'm done with my rule. So it will return I'm done with my function module, not rule, because I will have to create one container element and then I will simulate it and will show you. So the function module is completed, activated. Now copy this function module, go to the transaction PFAC, now paste here, save it. It is saved. Now going to the container tab, create the rule container. As I have used this company code, so I will create one company code rule container. So I've created one rule container. So this rule container, as I'm reading the company code that is present in rule container in this particular function module, and that function module, after reading, it is selecting from the database based on that company code and populating in actor tab. Now save it. Now we will simulate this. That is, we will test it. Now suppose for company code 9000, let's see what it is returning. It is returning USLKDA. It means the function module is working correctly. Now for 9001, let's see what it's returning. 2 IDs. So it means the function module is working perfectly fine. So I have ensured that rule is working fine. Now copy this rule number and go to workflow builder. Let me create new one. In rule, select the rule and paste this particular value, that is the number generated out of that rule. Now I will create one container element in workflow container element, that is company code. Save it. And activate. Now what I will have to do is the binding, because I will have to pass that company code to the rule. So click on this binding, pass this company code. As I told you, we do the binding for the importing parameter, not the exporting. So whatever will be returned in actor tab, it will get automatically populated. That's the reason this actor tab is mandatory in the table section, because we don't do the exporting parameter binding. So you will have to maintain the same name, that is actor underscore tab and AC underscore container. So that's the reason it is mandatory for having this rule. Now activate it. Now I will test it. I will pass in company code, suppose 9000, and we'll see what it returns. Going to the workflow log. Let's see in agents. So it's showing me LKDA. It means for 9000, it has returned LKDA. This is the dynamic way of fetching, because I have maintained it in table. Now going to 9001. Now go to workflow log. In agents, you can see two users, that is Kumar K and Priyanka. So find 9001, since we have maintained the table. So this is the way of dynamically fetching. It means if whoever leaves the company or whoever comes in the company, you can just maintain the table. So you don't have to change the workflow, at least. Only you have to do the table maintenance, and that is very easier compared to changing this workflows. So this is how we can work with the rule, but the drawback is we cannot export anything. So if the logic doesn't permits you to use the rule, because you will have to export the variable, some variable based on which you will be working in the workflow, then you will have to take the help of activity rather than this rule. So any question on this dynamic way of fetching this rule? So let's moving on to this, as we have discussed everything about this rule and role, and what is left next is, let us see. This role and rule is being discussed, and these four will be discussed tomorrow. And this user, as I told you, this user will be the dynamic, just dynamic name, that is LKDA. Means right here LKDA, that's it. The items will be sent. In expression, I have already discussed the dynamic way of fetching the user. Workflow initiator, you know as well. And superior is like similar to rule. What you will have to do is you will have to just fetch the superior of the logon user. Suppose if I am executing this workflow, what it will do, it will just find out the superior of me and will send the work item to that particular person. So now I will show you next is ad hoc assignments. Like I have shown you in step types, the anchor step. So what was there in anchor step was, at runtime the user will decide which workflow should be executed next. Yes, Venkat.
Lakshmi, can you go to the effect?
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you select the first one, responsibilities category?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this personal rule checkbox?
Personal rule is default rule. If you check this and if you execute this, where it is that? We use it for the default rule. If the rule doesn't that doesn't return any result, then if you have maintained some rule, then that will be executed. Rule with responsibilities can be personal or function based. In the case of personal, responsibilities are only relevant if users or person are assigned directly. In case of function based rule, responsibilities are inherited along with the organization structure. Here it means that I think a lot of sound is coming from your side. Just rule with responsibilities can be personal or function based. In the case of personal rule, responsibilities are only relevant if users or persons are assigned directly. In case of function based, responsibility are relevant or structure. Okay, here it means that you have seen here in responsibility section, if going to the display mode and if I create anything, suppose I create here it will determine based on the org structure. If I don't use that personal rule, if I do this agent assignment, it will determine based on the org structure. Like suppose if I have the in HR, if I have org unit, work center, position, or the job, then it will fetch that particular user ID based on that org structure. And if I don't do that personal rule, then it will just select that user ID and it will just give me that user. Otherwise, it will map through the org structure if I don't check that personal rule. Whether that org structure, whether that particular user ID is associated with some org structure or not. It will just map that particular ID with the org structure, that is HR. I will show you tomorrow how to map that org structure, that user ID with that org structure. Otherwise, what happens in companies, like one user ID is hired, but that with any of the position, not any of the work center. So it won't allow that particular user ID to be associated with that particular rule. But if you check that, if you check that personal rule, then that user ID will be taken as the IDs associated with that particular level. Hello?
Yeah, okay.
So this org structure, tomorrow I will show you what to do with this org structure. How to associate the user IDs with this org structure. So here I was discussing, as I was telling you about the ad hoc anchor assignment. So I was discussing, just comparing it with the anchor step, which we have discussed in step types. So in that ad hoc anchor step, what the user used to do is, at the runtime when he execute the workflow, he decides which workflow should be executed next. it means that he will be having more than one workflow options, and out of that workflow options it will decide which workflow to be executed. So in ad hoc anchor as well, we don't use this anchor step because a person won't go to the graphical log and select which workflow should be executed next. So similarly, this ad hoc as agent assignment is also not used in real time, but I'm just showing you so that you can know what it is, this ad hoc agent assignment. So while executing the workflow, the agents are assigned dynamically. That means based on the user desire. Suppose if I am executing this workflow, so at runtime I will decide with to whom it should be sent to. So let me show you. First, I will create one new workflow. In expression tab, don't give anything. Just keep it blank. Save it. So it is activated. Now you have to ensure that it is assigned as the general task. This is green, so it means it has been assigned as a general task. Now once activated, if go to extras, ad hoc functions, enable ad hoc assignment, select that, click on continue and complete. Just complete the wizard. Now activate it and execute. Once you do the execution of this workflow, you can see here one bar object, that is agent 001, will come by default, and in the one more tab has got appeared, that is ad hoc agents. Just select that ad hoc agents and give any name, like suppose Lcadia, I want the item should be sent to Lcadia. Click on check agents. It will actually check the user ID with the backend, so that it will ensure that it is the valid user ID. So it has been checked. Now once I have assigned it, you can see here one instance is created against this agent with this particular ID, that is E2223, this big ID. So this one is the instance which is created against that Lcadia. Now I will execute this particular workflow. Now I will see with whom this workflow is pending with. Going to the workflow log, I haven't assigned anything in expression tab, rather I have assigned it in the runtime. So this was the ad hoc agent assignment. Now going to the agents, I can see here it is present with Lcadia. So this is what the, like, it is depending upon the desire of the user, workflow initiator, who will be initiating this workflow. But we don't use this because nobody execute this workflow manually, nor this ad hoc agent assignment is done in real time. Rather, we do it in the dynamic way. If they don't want that users to be to receive this work item, they will just remove that user from the backend, and that user won't receive the work item, instead of doing this agent assignment in an ad hoc manner. This is how we do the agent assignment in ad hoc manner. So if you want any other users to receive this work item, you can just execute it again. And in ad hoc agents, suppose Kumar K. So here again the ID has got generated, instance has got generated. Now going to the workflow log, you can see here it is Kumar K. So any question on this ad hoc agent assignments? So this was the like similar to that ad hoc anchor. Mm, Based on the user decision, it will execute the steps, and it will in ad hoc agent assignment, it will actually determine the agents in an ad hoc manner. So this was the ad hoc agent assignment. Now coming to the multi-line container elements. Why we use this multi-line container elements? Because suppose as we know that there is only one work item instance gets generated out of one task. So for this particular, suppose this is a task, ad hoc agent, this is a task, and what will happen whenever it get executed, only one work item ID will get generated per execution, and that work item ID instance will be sent to all the users who are associated with the expression tab. Suppose 3 users are associated, that is Elkadia, Kumar K and Priyanka. Suppose 3 users are present in that agent, in that expression tab. So all 3 users will receive the same work item ID. And if any one of the user execute that particular work item ID, then others 2 user inbox, that work item will get disappeared, because the same instance was used for all these 3 IDs. Now, suppose there is a requirement that these 3 user IDs should receive different work items instance based on the task. So the task will be same, but work item ID instance will be different. So if any one of the user execute that particular work item ID or take the action, then that work item will get disappear from that respective users, not the other user, because the work item ID is different, the instance is different from the others work item instance. So suppose 3 user IDs are present in the expression tab, so 3 work item instance will be created, and 3 items will be present in the inbox of 3 users. So let us see how it happens. I'm just taking the help of this rule dynamic. So here it is fetching the user based on the company code. So in decision, you can see we were having this users. Okay, using this, I will just create new one. Create one activity step, because we will be using the dynamic agents. I'm just selecting that dummy method. Only I need that work item ID, therefore I'm just interested to show you the work item ID. Do the agent assignment as general task. So here first I will be creating one container element. suppose X agents. Or we can have this SWP agent as well. And in properties tab, select multi-line so that we will have more than one agents. It is similar to the internal table. I have not given that PDF employee as the table type. You can also give the structure name, that is a data element name, and can select the multi-line. It will behave as a internal table as well. So these are the two options which are available. So the container element was ready. Now I will create one activity step, one more. Um, Yesterday we did that to fetch the agents, that is based on the company and company code, that is fetch dynamic. So it will background processing, synchronous. So the binding is done by default because I have chosen that this default transfer of elements. So you can see here in both area in this task container and this method. So the elements were created automatically. I will have to just do the binding. In exporting, I will have this X agents. Now save it. Now check the binding. It is there. Now in the second step, I will bind with this expression tab the agents which we have just fetched from the previous step. Select this X agents. Now activate it. So this is what we used to do, like we just populate this in expression tab and we receive the work items. The users, whoever is populated in this particular internal table, will receive the work item, but the item which he will receive will be the same, that is instance will be same, but I want that different instance should be created out of this task. So what I will do, I will remove this particular X agents from here, and in going to the miscellaneous tab, here I will choose the agents. Now you can see here I have selected this X agents in multi-line container element. Just give me a second. I'm not sure whether the type is same or not because I'm using the previous X agents. Yes, Ramana.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, Ramana. It's
Yeah,
audible.
actually, it works like fork, right?
Which one?
This multi-line container is like it works like fork or what? Like so it's showing the description like dynamic parallel processing.
Yeah, it's dynamic parallel processing. Means you can compare it with fork as well, but the functionality is different. Means the behavior is different. Like in fork, what happens? We have some parallel branches, and everything was executed in parallel. So here, if I select the multi-line container element, then in parallel work item ID will be generated, and that will be independent of each other. It won't be dependent. It is same. This functionality is same, but behavior is different. There we were having parallel branching, and here we are having parallel work item ID.
Okay. Oh, there only one work item ID will create, but branches will be number of. Here work item itself different.
Right, here the work item, different work item ID will be created for the same task. This is the second one is a task. The task number is only one. Let me show you.
Hmm.
The task number is going to the control tab. Here the task number is 7900220. Okay, so once I execute this, work item will be generated. But previously, whatever we were doing, only one work item ID was generated, and that work item ID was sent to the users or whoever is present in expression tab. But now the work item will be generated independently for each user. If I have 4 users, then 4 work item ID will be generated. That won't be dependent upon each other. So if I execute one work item ID from the inbox, then that work item ID will disappear from that respective inbox, not others inbox. So there
Okay, I
can be a
mean
requirement. Yeah, tell me.
like suppose I mean at a time I want to send a mail to like I mean on a particular condition like any step one item ID I need to send to multiple people.
Okay.
Okay, so individually they have to approve it. In that case, we will use this multi-line container.
Right, there can be requirement in the company. Let me tell you the requirement. Suppose they want that if suppose one user have executed that work item, but it shouldn't get disappear from the inbox. Suppose 5 managers have received the work item, that is the same instance, and if any one of the manager approves, and that work item will disappear from other manager inbox, but the company doesn't want that. It want that all the 5 user should that 5 managers should execute that work item, then only it should get approved. So what will happen, you will have to create 5 work item IDs, so that if any one of the user execute that work item, other 5 will have the different work items, so they will have the work item lying in their inbox. So all the 5 approvals is required for that particular work item to for that particular task to get executed completely.
Okay, okay,
I will show you here.
okay,
Okay. I'm
okay.
not sure whether the binding is that type is same or not. Maybe I would face some problem here. Let me check. So I've activated, and let me execute this whether it's working or not. I have used that previous function module. Okay, I will have to create here one, that is company code and level. Let me do it, import and export. I think for 2 we have maintained 2 user IDs and backend. Fine, I'm done with it. So here let me see these 2 users. Fine. the fetch agents was not working, so that's the reason agents was not populated. I think in table the maintenance is not there. Let me first check the table, then I will give the importing values. So I'm just giving 9001 and 2. So we will get two user IDs. Okay. So this LKD and Priyanka would receive different work items, not the same work items. Okay. So let me see. New workflow builder. $9,001 and in employee level 2. So this fetch agents is returning these IDs US LKD and Priyanka. But here, let me check this whether this multi-line is working or not. Just give me a second. We are getting two items, but the users are not receiving the work items. You can see here. Let me first show you that why we are getting that two line items. 9001 and level 2. Here you can see here we have fetched two user ID, so therefore two line items are created because I have chosen it as multi-line, so two instances are created. Let me show you the instance as well. You can see here 886 and 887. So if we would have 5 users, then 5 instances would have created. But previously what we were doing, only one instance was created, and in agents we were having the multiple agents, means the agents were receiving the same instance. This is the instance, this 962886, this is called instance, work item instance. Okay, it has come out of that task. So this instance was same for all the users, but here you can see instances are different. Here 886 and 887. So two instances are created for two users. So if this particular user execute that particular work item, so this instance will get completed, not the other. So the other instance will remain in the respective user inbox. It won't get disappear because the instance are different. So this is how it behaves. But I will check this why it is not coming this agents. So here you can see in fetch the agents, it is there. In X agents we can see 2 user IDs are there. I think I've used the this type maybe mismatched. So here actually all users can process this task is coming. So it is not getting that agents. So there is no problem. I will see that. So here you should at least understand this instance ID is created independently. That is the different instance ID out of the same task. So any doubt on this? This users I will show you in the next class or tomorrow I will show you. I will have to check this. So any doubt on this particular instance or the concept on this instance ID or the users who will be receiving this instance or the work item in the inbox? So first, in before whatever we have discussed there, if any of the you suppose I have received and Kumar K have received the task, sorry, the instance that is work item. So if I execute the task, so that will get disappear from my inbox as well as from the Kiran's inbox. But here, if you select as multi-line, so the number of users whoever is present will receive different work items, and if I approves that particular work item or take the action, then only that work item will get disappear from my inbox, but it will remain with the other user inbox because the instance was not same. So this is how this multi-line behaves. So tomorrow I will show you this agents as well, how it works. I will check this. And tomorrow also I will have to show you that org structure, how you can create work center position or unit, and how to assign those IDs with this or those org structure with this workflow. So in companies, we somewhere it is used in some companies, but in some companies they don't use this org structure, and we don't have to worry about fully this org structure. Everything is done by HR people, but you should know something about it so that if anything goes wrong, you can at least debug it by yourself. So I will be showing you this org structure tomorrow in tomorrow class. So any doubt